So we're going to take a moment today to talk about branding. And more specifically, I want to talk about this little guy. Now, my guess is most of you do not recognize this cartoon character. His name is Shin-Chan, and he is in a manga and anime series called Crayon Shin-Chan. Got the name up there. And let me tell you, this is ubiquitous. This face, or his ass, is all over this goddamn country. And really, I got this to talk about him because he is the main character, but really I got this to talk about this. This is another addition, kind of a late addition to my beer can collection, which I obviously disposed of in a recent video. But this character right here is another character from Crayon Shin-Chan. His name in the original version was Action Mask, is the best translation I've seen. His more common English name is Action Bastard. And he is one of 3 characters who appear on 3 different brands of beer sold in the same place where I got this. Now, I want to take just a moment first to explain to you what the hell Crayon Shin-Chan is. As I said, it was a manga series. It ran through 2010 and then stopped. There have been some kind of attempts to create more after that, but none of them really lasted very long. There was also an animated series. And it's actually kind of interesting because Shin-Chan was if you look it up, is widely considered impossible to translate. Because while there is a lot of kind of very broad humor with, physical comedy, slapstick, this kid showing his ass to everyone, most of the humor is actually based on wordplay. It's tons of puns, and puns do not translate. None of the Japanese puns make sense in any other language on Earth, and yet this has been translated. This has been translated. There is, as I said, an English version. I do not blame you if you've never heard of it. It was on TV very briefly. It was on Adult Swim from 2006 to 2009, and I seem to recall it, because I actually watched it when it was on. It was on at a really odd time. It wasn't on really late, but it was on late enough. You probably weren't watching it unless you were waiting for something else to come on. So I don't blame you for missing it. Again, every version of it, there is a Korean version of it and a lot of other versions, and all of them are a little bit different because, again, they have to change the wordplay to make it work out. But what's interesting is I cannot describe how many products. Again, the beer was kind of what blew my mind. 3 of these, each with different characters on it. And the thing about it is, you don't see Crayon Shin-Chan, because again, they haven't really been making these for a long time. Like this at this point, Crayon Shin-Chan is a brand. It's not really a show or a manga. It's a brand that's on everything. It's all over. My students have like stickers with Shin-Chan's face on it, and they're all over everything. They're on their backpacks. It's just really, really common. And one thing I've kind of settled upon is if you look it up, they say it's really popular in East Asia. That's about half true. I would say that the popularity of this show is based directly on the area's geographic and cultural proximity to Japan. Because these characters are not common in China, with one exception. There's one place I've been where I did see Shinohara a few times, not a lot, but a few times. And that was the very first place I ever lived over there, which was a city called Changchun, way outside of the place where most of the foreigners live, way up in the northeast, bordering the Korean peninsula. Hence, I've only really seen this in China, only really seen this character, this brand, in a place that was very close to Japan, and that was very culturally influenced by Japan. So, again, big deal over there. I've heard this show described as the Japanese Simpsons. I guess I can see this. That makes this Bart Simpson. Okay. So that is your culture note for the day. Crayon Shin-Chan, huge deal in some parts of Asia. Really big deal in Korea. Not so much in China.